So what I'm doing now, this is what my application is. If you are new to this series, or you are watching this video from now onwards, I think that you should check the previous videos where I have already created the lion and animal and discussed the purpose of that whole application. So this is what the dog is. So I'm going to create a dog class, and dog class also extends, extends animal. And let's add some features of dog. So dog also had some, you know weight, and let's say dog also has some dress. Okay, so weight feature is actually coming from this. Okay, so dog has a dress, and you know dog has its own mood. So boolean uh, mood. Okay, so let's say what is the thing is, so let's say suppose dog constructor. So let me create a dog constructor using fields. And not only this field, actually I have to choose the another one. Okay, no worries. So int weight is weight, and int energy. So here I'm passing weight and energy level. Okay, so these two things I'm passing there. And what next is public void play games. So dog is basically interested in playing games, right? But when the dog will be able to play the game, so dog will be able, so instead of this I'm making it int again, so I can take the boolean values. Okay, so what happened right here, I'm taking it, let's say int uh, is dog in the mood of playing. Okay, so new random equals to next int, and pass here 2, so it gives me either 0 or 1. Okay, and that's it. So if is dog in the mood is double equals to 1, and int current dog weight is equals to super dot get energy get weight. And if current dog weight is greater than, 2 kg, then only we can play with the dog, otherwise we cannot play the dog, right? So if whole these things are okay, so then dog is playing the game, and it basically decrease the value of weight and, you know something your energy level of dog will be decreased. So I also mention here the energy level of dog. So control C and control V. So if current dog so instead of weight I should check the energy level actually. So get energy level, so energy level should be 10. So this is this whole things, and what happened that it will basically decrease the energy level. So current energy level should be decreased by 5 points after playing game, and super dot set energy level should be current energy level. And else what happened that if dog is not in the mood, and else if current dog energy is less than 10, then we should go for do eat method of dog. Okay, so where is the do eat method? In order to write down the do eat method, so in case of dog it's not like that, it's a food quantity. Okay, so wait a second, so control this implements that method and do eat. Okay, so it is again going to take the food quantity. So this food quantity, it should be the int food quantity would be what, new random next int, and that will be only 3. Okay, so any number out of 1, 2, or let's make it 5, 3 or 4 is going to increase the value. And what happened here, what would be the dog food values? So give me a minute. XYZ code. Okay, so this is exactly similar to what I have done in the line class. Now in order to do that, I have to mention it in the dog class also. So I created the dog object, and this is a yellow 5 and this. So what is this yellow 5 and this is dog class construct. Okay, so let's execute this part. So what I'm doing right now, I am making it comment, okay, and execute the dog part only. So let's verify how it works. So dog is playing the game, and then rest of the attempts are failed because dog has not enough weight. And these all things I have not mentioned here in the code. I should mention these part as well. Okay, so what I should mention there, that dog is in the mood. So first of all, okay, so I have modified little code right there. Okay, so there is an error actually. Set quantity. So what I have done, I actually made some changes in playing games, and this nothing changed, just only the representation changes. Okay, so just a second, why there is again the error. Super dot get energy level. So it is working fine. Let's execute it again. So you can observe right there that attempt 1, dog is in the mood. No, dog is not in the mood. It is not going to execute it. Attempt 2, dog is in the mood. Yes, dog is in the mood. So dog weight is 15, energy is 13. Dog can able to play the game. So after playing the game, you can observe that energy level is decreased. Now attempt 3, dog is in the mood. Yes, dog is again in the mood, and somehow there is a confliction. Okay, so this thing is not executing, but you can observe that somehow the game is executing well. Okay, after so this is fine so far. But what happened right here, what happened, you can observe this is not the actual code, right? The code should be something like as that, because we are working on the runtime polymorphism, where we have attempted the few one application where I created some some business operations. That is the business operation related to the animal kingdom game, where we have two subtypes of animal, dog and lion. The common methods in both the animal is that eating food, but this method is not relevant for us because this logic is absolutely waste logic. Okay, let me change the logic, and that logic becomes more waste. Okay, this logic is not applicable on all animal. Okay, so actually what happened, that after eating food, either the energy or the weight of the animal will be increased, right? So that's why we realize that when eating food to the lion, our values should be changed appropriately as per the lion eating behavior, and in case of dog, values of these things should be changed as per the dog eating behavior. And based on the eating behavior, energy will be generated, and then that energy is basically used in order to perform either the play game operation of animal, of dog basically, or a play or do hunt operation for loin. You can observe that loin can perform do hunt, and it can only perform hunting if the energy level is greater than 50. And dog can also perform the hunting if the energy dog can perform the its own specific behavior, that is animal that is playing game, but dog can only play game if energy level is greater than 10, right? And after playing game, what happened, that energy will be decreased to certain level. So that is basically the animal kingdom game which we are trying to make. So if you are not familiar with this, I request you to please watch the previous videos in order to understand the whole operation. Okay, so now what happened, that what we are going to learn in this video, that video is very important actually, that in this video, you know, in the real time operation, if I'm going to write down, I cannot write down the code, one for lion and then after for dog, and one attempt my kid is going, my kid means the user, because we have discussed so far that the user of this application is basically the 3 years old kid. Okay, so in the real time application, how it should be, it should be something like as public void, user playing game, and user is basically playing game with the animal, and user has to choose the animal. So whole lot of this code, right, this code has no relevance right here, and here I should write the code to choose the animal, right, instead of creating the animal and executing the behavior, because of whatever the behavior of that animal, I have to mention there only, right, either want to play game or doing hunt, right, something like this way. So I have to write down that code in order to choose the animal, and then after attempting to execute the operation, okay, the business operation, whatever it is. So let me write that whole code order to select the animal, and then after we will be working on playing games. So you can observe right here, so I have mentioned the few lines of code, very simple basic lines of code, nothing much. Here I'm just mentioning that we have three animals, lion, dog and horse, and this is how I'm taking it, like case if L I'm choosing, so a lion, otherwise dog, and for others I'm not choosing anyone. So now be very attentive, because very important thing I'm going to mention right here. So let's say, suppose if I'm going to write down any specific behavior, let's say a dot hunt, because I have to call that hunt method of lion, that is not available, correct? Are you getting my point? That hunt method is not available. Similarly, a dot play games method is also not available. Okay, however I can call a dot do it method, that is fine, but this method is irrelevant. I do not want to execute this method because this method has no worth of code there, right? This method code is not applicable over line in this. So how this thing is possible, when what would be the case? So I hope that you understood the problem. The problem is, what is the problem? The problem what you can observe right here, that I can call, right, so we can execute super class or animal class operations, right, but we cannot executes subclass or child class operations through super class reference, and it makes sense also, through super class reference, and it makes sense also. Why? Because you can observe that problem is not like that. Problem is not in this area. So let me just copy this whole code. So now you can observe that problem is not here. For lion object easily loin object easily consumed by animal reference. So it means that subclass object can be referred to the superclass. So what is the rule right here? The rule says that superclass reference can take subclass object. Understood? So here I have mentioned the rule. What is that rule? That rule says superclass reference can take subclass object. So similarly, object D can easily be passed on to animal. There is no such concern. Okay, there is no such concern. It can be easily passes to this particular level. Okay, or this particular code. But where is the problem? The problem is right here. When I'm trying to call child class operations through animal class, because it is a binding issue, you know, child class is not yet exist. You can observe that this object actually created during main, isn't it? This object actually created during main when my user is going to select whole lot of this code. Okay, my user is going to select. I'm using here scanner, so my user is going to enter L and then only loin is going to create. It is what the runtime is. Okay, application is running, but during the deployment of this code over the server, there is no such user available. There is only such code. Okay, and that code is saying that because there is no user, there is no such object, there is only class structures, and that's why it is a compile time error. Okay, that compiler is generating the error that, hey developer, I am not able to see, do hunt and play games in the animal class. Okay, I hope that you understood the reason of the problem and the scenario, that why it is called as a runtime polymorphism, because object is created during runtime, and that's why during the runtime we figure it out, okay, which version of the method should be called. So this is basically the problem, and in the next video I will be discussing the solution, right? That how you should do the solution, what is upcasting, what is downcasting, what is instance of operator, how we will get class class exceptions. So these all are the terms which is being used in this example in the next classes. So it's a very important series if you are trying for understanding the Java inheritance, if you are preparing for Java certification, or if you are preparing for any Java interview, or you are a developer and still not comfortable with such kind of code. I think that you should go through this video and understand the whole process. It will be the eye opener to many of the developers, I'm sure. Okay, so if you have watched this entire series till now, I hope that you can subscribe to my channel. It will not only motivate me, it basically push me to make new videos. Okay, so thank you very much. Line with dog, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to create now the dog.